So I'm doing mine on domestic violence awareness, and I chose to do that because my grandmother is a domestic violence counselor, and so I grew up my whole life, me and my sister, being drilled on like all the signs and dangers and preventions of it all. So the sources I used were my grandmother, the hotline.org, domesticviolence.org, and helpguide.org. Domestic violence, or spousal abuse, happens when one person in a relationship usually intimidates or tries to dominate or control the other person. Domestic violence is used for one purpose, and is to gain and maintain total control over you. The abuser will use methods such as fear, guilt, shame, and intimidation to wear you down and keep you down. The abuser in most cases will threaten you, hurt you, or hurt those around you. Domestic violence does not discriminate. It affects all ages, sexes, races, orientations, and economic classes. Domestic violence is not just physical abuse, but also verbal, emotional, and sexual abuse. Domestic violence is like a ladder that escalates from threats and verbal abuse to actual violence, and while physical injury is the most common sign and most severe symptom signs, it's also emotional and verbal is also very severe. When someone abuses you emotionally, it destroys your self-worth. I feel like that one's like the most like damaging one, because it's not like a bruise or a slap. Like, yeah, you'll remember it forever, but it scars the soul. Like, you're sitting there thinking about how stupid you are or what you did wrong. And it gives you like a sense of anxiety and depression that leaves you feeling helpless and alone. And I feel like no one should have to deal with this pain. The first step to breaking free is recognizing the situation and knowing that you're in an abusive relationship. Once you've come to terms with that, there is help available for you. Some signs of abuse are fear of your partner. If you feel like you're constantly walking on eggshells, or you don't know if you can say a certain thing because you might offend them or they might get angry, then most likely you're in an abusive relationship. Your relationship is just not healthy. Some resources that you could use to help you out are your school nurse, your doctor's office, the local police station. There's a national domestic violence hotline, and it's 1-800-799-SAFE. And usually they're really good. Everything's confidential, and they help you find someone in your area to help you out. They'll put you in like a battered women's shelter or things like that. Domestic violence is more common in women than in men, but it doesn't mean that men aren't abused. It just means that they don't speak out as much as women do. It's more embarrassing for men to say that they're being abused by a woman than a woman saying that she's being abused by a man. And the situation isn't something that should be taken lightly, because it could end up deadly. And that's it. Any questions?
Very nice comment.